If you are watching this video, chances are you recently got laid off by your employer. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 different money steps that you should take if you are one of those affected people. Hi, my name is Ahmed Mahian, and in this channel, I talk about personal finance. So over the last 1.5 years, there has been a lot of layoffs in the tech sector, banking sector, even gas and oil sector, and everybody is facing a recessionary effect that the economy is going through. And it is very common for people to lose their job in capitalistic society like ours. So let's take a look at some of the steps that you can take if you are someone who is already affected by these layoff waves. So number one step is to update your asset and cash flow. So as soon as you lose your job, you should sit down with your partner, if you have one, to figure out what are assets that you have for your spending for the next few months. Ideally, you should have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency fund when you had your job. Now, if you have a financial advisor, your financial advisor probably has already set aside 6 months worth of expenses, but if you don't, then you probably should look for a new financial advisor. Now, once you understand what assets you have, you need to figure out which assets to tap into during this difficult period until you find a job. You should also update your cash flow to figure out what are those income and expense that you are projecting for the next few months until you find a job. This is very critical because those assets can be gone very quickly if you are not watching your expenses. So you might have to cut down your expenses, and you may have to let go a few variable expenses that may not be absolute necessary in your life. So most often, we typically tap into our emergency fund during these first few months. If we ran out of the emergency fund, typically we have line of credit or other credit facility to tap into, or some people use their tax-free savings account or even RRSP to supplement their income during this job search period. Now, RRSP can be a good tool to use during this time if you are anticipating a long unemployed time, because the way RRSP work is you contribute into RRSP when you are in a high tax bracket, and you withdraw money from RRSP when you are in a low tax bracket. So if you are in a layoff situation and you are not finding a job for 6 months, 8 months into the year, probably RRSP makes sense in that case because you don't have any other income. And if you are withdrawing from RRSP, you probably will pay a very little tax to the government. So talk to your financial advisor, project your cash flow, and figure out where you can tap into your saved asset. The second step you should take is you should apply for employment insurance as soon as possible. So if you have been paying into the EI program that the government has for everybody, then you should apply whenever you are affected by a layoff. As long as your job is not fired by your own fault, you are supposed to get EI benefit. So right now, as of this video recording in January 2024, the maximum EI amount you can get is $668 per week. And you are allowed to get up to 45 weeks of EI benefit. Obviously, you have to show the government that you are still looking for a job, but if you don't find any job within that 45 weeks, $668 will be paid to you weekly. Normally, they pay you bi-weekly, but that's the amount of money you are going to receive if you are affected by a layoff. Now, if your income was less than $61,000 roughly before you got laid off, then this EI benefit will be proportionate to that income. So if you were making $40,000 before you get laid off, then 55% of that $40,000 will be the EI benefit. So as soon as you get laid off, talk to the CRA agent on the line, or you can check their website and figure out what is the amount that you are entitled to get. You should apply for the EI benefit as soon as possible. Sometimes the company pays you a severance, where in that case, you may have to wait for a few months before you can apply for the EI. Now, number 3 step is take care of the pension. So a lot of company offer pension when you work for them. So typically these pensions are defined benefit or defined contribution. So if you are part of these benefits, as soon as you lose your job, your HR will send you some document that will outline your option where you are allowed to take those pension amount to your preferred financial institution. Normally that transfer is something called a locked-in retirement account, or in short LIRA account, where the funds will be held into that LIRA account until you turn 55. There are some exceptional case where you can tap into that money, but normally if you have other income and if you don't qualify for those exceptions, then you are not allowed to withdraw until you turn 55. Now in your LIRA account, you can invest all kind of investment just like your TFSA or RSP. You can invest in mutual fund, you can invest in ETF, you can invest in stocks, bonds, and other investment tools. Normally this package is sent few weeks after you get laid off, and they are typically sent from the insurance company which were holding your pension funds. Now number 4 is making sure the pay that they gave you are correct. So whenever you get laid off, you are supposed to get severance pay, you are supposed to get your earned vacation pay and your termination pay from your ex-employer. Most of the time, if the company is a large one, these number will be correct, but you never know, because a lot of time you might be missing some vacation pay that you did not enter to their portal. And as soon as you are laid off, you don't have access to your HR portal anymore. So make sure that whatever documents you have on their file is correct and up to date, so that when they calculate these termination benefits, you are receiving the amount that you are entitled to receive. And number 5 is making sure you are having a continuation on your benefit package. A lot of these companies offer group life insurance, health insurance, dental insurance. When you are laid off, you need to check with your insurance company to see if you can convert those group insurance policy to an individual policy. Normally they give you a timeline in between. You can take those group policy and convert it to an individual policy. Normally, as an independent financial planner, we recommend you to have your own individual policy, such as your life insurance, disability insurance, critical illness, just because we never know when you are going to be laid off from your employer. If you have those policies directly with an insurance company, even if you get laid off from your employer, that doesn't impact your personal life insurance policy. So if you have group life insurance policy or health insurance, make sure to talk to the insurance company and figure out what alternative options you have if you are affected by layoff. Now, apart from these money talks, you probably need to relax when you lose your job. You should network with other professionals to find your next job, and also you need to update your resume or add some new skill so that you are marketable in the marketplace. From my personal experience, I have seen few layoffs in my life. One of the most critical one that I saw is when my boss's boss got fired from one of the largest 5 banks in Canada, and he worked for 22 years. I don't know how much sacrifice he made to get to that director level, and all of a sudden he was laid off and given a severance package, and we never got a chance to say goodbye to this person. In North American culture, layoff is very common, and whenever the company struggles financially, they just lay off people. So you gotta be used to this culture, and that's why people don't have loyalty these days anymore, because when company looks employee as a commodity, the employee also looks at the company as a source of income. There is no emotional connection between the employee and the employer anymore, which is very sad, but that's the reality of the capitalistic system. So if you are one of the affected, laid off person, I wish you all the best for your next job. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button so that you don't miss out the next videos. Thank you so much for watching this video.